Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to Soul Shift Messages. If you found your way here, trust there's something in this message for you. Understand this space is about growth, truth, and transformation. We don't bypass here, we don't sugarcoat, and not every message will feel comfortable, but it will be honest. I speak in flow, and sometimes that includes cussing. It's just part of how the messages come through. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust your own discernment above all else. Take a deep breath, and let's begin. If you are new here, please know at this time that I record weekly content in 3 parts. Part 1 focuses on what needs to be revealed. Part 2 focuses on what needs to be understood. And Part 3 focuses on what needs to be done. What changes do we need to make in order to embody what we happen to be discussing this week? So this is actually going to be Part 3 for this week's series. And this week's topic is desire. So when you see this video, you will find links to all available content for the series in the description box below. Just in case you come in later, you can always find what you're looking for. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I am calling this message, Desire Becomes Real Through the Life You Build. Let's dive right in. Understanding desire is not the final step. Neither is becoming aware of why you want what you want. Eventually, every meaningful desire asks something of you. It asks you to become the kind of person who can carry it well. Many people think the purpose of desire is to help them obtain something. But over time, desire reveals a different purpose. It is not simply trying to give you experiences, relationships, success, or fulfillment. It is trying to shape your character. Every important desire is asking, who do I need to become in order to carry this well? The deepest transformation is not getting what you want. It is becoming someone who can love, protect, create, sustain, and steward what you desire. So, if you've been with me for the past couple of weeks, those part 3s were really focused on really taking action. And actually in the last one, I got really specific. I actually gave examples to really help remove any doubt about how to really implement those things. And they want me to just pause and let you know that this one's going to be a little different. Yes, there are still things we need to do, but they really want, I'm hearing, treat it like a subliminal. If that makes sense to you, that makes sense. If that doesn't, that's okay. They really want you to take this in. Yes, you will embody this, but the first step is really taking in this information and letting it sit. I'm hearing the progression from where you are to where I'm about to go into this will take some time, but that is the best first step, is to really just take in this information. It doesn't mean do anything with it, but this is about giving your consciousness new information to consider moving forward with when it comes to desire. I'm hearing mind over matter with this. This is going to start with the mind, and then it's going to work its way into embodiment. And they're just saying that's going to make sense when that makes sense. All right. That's it. Okay. Let's jump back in. Desire must be cultivated before it is expressed. Modern culture teaches immediate action. If you feel something, act. If you want something, pursue it. Healthy desire works differently. Strong desire is not automatically clear desire. Many desires first need time to mature. Healthy desire develops quietly before it becomes action. Some desires become stronger when given time. Others soften. Some completely transform. Others reveal themselves to have been reactions rather than genuine longings. Time is one of desire's greatest teachers. Waiting is not always delaying life. Sometimes waiting allows truth to emerge. This is not repression, it is cultivation. Like a seed beneath the soil, healthy desire develops roots before it becomes visible. What needs to be done? Resist acting simply because something feels urgent. Give important desires time to mature. Regularly ask, what happens to this desire if I stay with it instead of immediately acting on it? I'm not going to lie, babies, this is really part of the reason why this needs to be mental first before you can take action is, and I'm going to be honest, I can feel that some of you are not going to like this, and that's okay. I can live with that. But I'm going to say it anyway because it's just coming through very strongly. But maturing desire is going to require discipline. And I'm just hearing, if you get it, you get it. And I'm hearing for some of you that clicked automatically. So when it comes to desire, maturing desire, moving toward healthier desire, you need to have discipline. This is going back to that self-mastery aspect. And again, this isn't about repressing desire. This is sure as shit not about suppressing desire. This is about developing it. It is a skill. I'm hearing it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more you refine it, the better and the healthier it becomes. And it just will become second nature. But I cannot escape the feeling there is a level of discipline that needs to be achieved in order to get here. And that is why you need to take this in mentally first. Your brain needs new information, new ways of looking, interpreting, perceiving, and determining what action to take. I'm going to be honest, I'm just hearing this is next level shit. All right? And I'm hearing don't force it, let it happen. But that's interesting. They're saying some of you are going to have moments in your experience where you're going to flash back to things I said in this experience. And your guides are saying that's very intentional because they want you to make the connection that you have matured, you are growing. Some of you, I don't know why, they're just saying some of you, as you keep moving forward in your experience, it's not even just going to be this series I've done on desire. It's going to be other stuff. You're just going to have moments where you recall certain things I said in other series. And again, that is your team trying to show you your progress, highlighting your growth. That's it. Thank you. Not every strong feeling is a true calling. Intensity often feels convincing, but emotional intensity and genuine purpose are not the same thing. Some desires feel overwhelming because they are connected to fear, loneliness, insecurity, old wounds, or unmet needs. Others remain steady even after excitement fades. Rather than asking, how strongly do I feel this? Ask, does this remain true after the emotion settles? Compulsive desire depends on urgency. Healthy desire survives reflection. One demands immediate resolution. The other patiently continues inviting you forward. What needs to be done? Do not use intensity as your measure of truth. Revisit important desires after emotion has settled. Trust what remains consistent over time more than what feels overwhelming in the moment. And I'm hearing, if you listened to part 1, because that's actually where I went over what compulsive desire is. If you listen to part 1 and you recognize that you have compulsive desire and that that's kind of running unconsciously and that's kind of what's driving you, they're saying this is your key. This is your ticket. When you feel that urgency, you need to actually do the opposite. You need to hit the brakes. And I don't care what this is, because that's just coming through clear as day. If you feel that urgency and you know that compulsive desire aspect applies to you, you have to hit the brakes. Why? Because that is an automatic response. You need to break that cycle. How do you break a cycle? You start by interrupting it. You feel that urgency, you want to act, wait. Hit the brakes. Even if it just takes you a minute longer to do something, hit the brakes. Delay that. I don't know why, but I'm hearing some of you recognize you have. I'm hearing addiction. It could also be a propensity for instant gratification. And they're saying you can overcome that. These are programs you have in your energy. They don't have to stay, especially if you're picking up on them. You can choose differently. That's a lot of what I focus on in these series, is recognizing what's going on so that you can try to interrupt it and introduce choice instead of just having these automatic reactions. Some of you just need to pause. You need to delay, hit the brakes. Even if you just tap them, again, babies, discipline. All right, I think I'm going to leave that there. Desire must become structure. Desire cannot remain an internal feeling forever. Eventually, it asks to become the way you live. Many people believe acting on desire means chasing what they want. A deeper understanding is that desire asks us to build the conditions that allow what we want to thrive. I'm hearing you pour the foundation and then you build the house. That's just the way to do it. They're saying this is no different. Again, build the conditions that allow what we want to thrive. No foundation, house probably going to be rickety as fuck. All right? And when it's rickety as fuck, shit's going to crash. All right? Something's going to go wrong. Shit's going to burn down. I don't know, but that isn't going to last. All right? Because that's just not the proper way to build. We know that. Ooh, this is going to be an accountability message too. I can feel it. All right. If you desire intimacy, build honesty. If you desire wisdom, build a habit of learning. If you desire freedom, build responsibility. If you desire creativity, build consistent practice. The question changes from how do I get this to what kind of life allows this to flourish. Again, this isn't just about getting things and holding it. What are you growing? What are you building? What are you sustaining? What are you stewarding? Again, this is really pushing us into longer term thinking. Again, it's like, yeah, it's great when you get things. What are you doing with it? Like, do you have what you need to make this last, to make this flourish? Again, conditions. Babies, they're just saying, don't let shit in this experience tell you differently. Short term is short term. A lot of that shit is not built to last, is really what they're making me feel. Short term is short term. Beyond the short term, who the fuck knows? Think longer, right? Be present in the moment. Look ahead. All right? I don't know why, but I'm hearing just because it looks good now doesn't mean it's going to look good later. Doesn't mean it's going to fulfill you later. And I'm hearing some of you are learning some hard lessons right now around that. And that can land in a number of ways, but I'm hearing whatever just came to your mind on that. Yeah. Okay. Desire becomes mature when it begins creating the conditions that support what it longs for. What needs to be done? Build habits that support your deepest desires. Focus less on obtaining outcomes and more on creating the conditions that allow those outcomes to grow. Ask, what daily practices would naturally produce the life I want? I forget what law it is. Maybe it's not even a law. I don't know. I only pay so much attention to that stuff because to me, it's more about the concepts rather than knowing the names of the concepts. But babies, this is really about evolving. Evolving. And what they're really challenging you, particularly with this section, is a lot of times we know where we want to get, and sometimes it's hard to align the actions to what gets us there. And they're really saying you really need to start asking yourself, if I want to become this, what habits do I need? What mindsets do I need, right? What do I need in place to become that person, right? Act as if, right? You may not be there yet, but start implementing that shit as you figure it out, right? You know, if you have, again, just take steps, take action. They're saying start moving toward that, and you might be pleasantly surprised that you just get up one day, look back, and be like, damn, look how far we came, right? It is summer. Let's say you're trying to lose weight. Well, there's certain things that need to be done, right? If you see a future version of yourself where you're fit and you're healthy, you need to look at where you are now, identify those gaps, and start closing them, right? Maybe it's cutting back on sugar. Maybe it's cutting back on junk food. You know, adding exercise, different types of exercise, right? Because you can lift a whole bunch of weights and still need cardio, right? Like, there's a balance with this for overall health. And I don't know who that was for because I didn't plan on going there anyway. If you just lift weights and oh shit. If you lift weights and you know you have heart disease in your family, boo, you need cardio. All right? Because lifting those weights is not enough to get your heart pumping the way you need it. You need longer duration. You don't necessarily need again, it's like the intensity you get with lifting your weights is not enough for your heart health. I don't know who that's for, but they're just saying you're going to know. I actually heard you're going to feel that in your heart if that's for you. All right. Thank you. That makes a lot more sense now. Okay. But yeah, they're saying look at where you are, look at where you want to go, identify those gaps, come up with reasonable, sustainable. I don't know who needs to hear that. Sustainable steps that you can take to get there. And I'm hearing you already know where to start. You just need to do it. All right. Desire becomes practice, not emotion. Many people wait until they feel inspired. Mature desire no longer depends on inspiration. It becomes consistent practice, second nature, babies. Love becomes daily kindness. Wisdom becomes continual learning. Creativity becomes regular work. Integrity becomes repeated choices. Generosity becomes ordinary behavior. What begins as inspiration eventually becomes habit. Repeated habits become character. Character becomes identity. Eventually, wanting and living begin to resemble one another. This is how you evolve. This is how you get from where you are to where you want to go. And again, they want me to reiterate, it starts, inspiration becomes habit. Habit becomes character. Character becomes identity. All right? And then it just becomes second nature. And they want me to be very clear. You do this again and again and again and again. Self-mastery. It's not a one-time thing. All right? What needs to be done? Stop waiting to feel motivated. Just get started. Express your deepest desires through small daily actions. Let consistency become stronger than emotion. Desire is educating you. The purpose of desire is not only fulfillment, it is formation. Every meaningful desire teaches something. patience, humility, discernment, responsibility, courage, commitment, acceptance. Sometimes what feels like an unanswered desire is actually unfinished learning. Instead of asking, why haven't I received this? Ask, what is this desire still teaching me? And babies, they want me to reflect again on the fact that in part 1, I talked about how your desires are mirroring things back to you. I'm not going to flip all the way back to it, but it's things like, does this desire stem from fear? Is it stemming from unmet needs? Basically, they want you to focus on really looking at that desire. Where is that coming from? Is that your genuine desire? Is that coming from a source outside of you? Is that reflecting some type of wounding within you? All right. And I got to be honest, when I really think about my journey and when I think about the things that I'm really grateful for, I got to be really honest. I am genuinely, truly, wholeheartedly most grateful for the things that I desired that I did not get. All right. It is the shit that did not work out that I'm most grateful for now. And I know that's a sign of maturity in me because there was a time, a place, and a version of me that really wanted those things. And they were not the right fit. It was really stemming from a place of wounding and a place of lack. And I'm just really grateful that it didn't work out and that it made me go through the journey that I did, because I could recognize, looking back, that I would have never been happy. It would have been another circle of hell for me to work my way out of. And I'm just really grateful that it was just something that, I just needed to work through. And when I worked through it, I was shocked how easy it was to let it go and to leave it alone. I don't look back at that stuff. All right. So I don't know. I'm hearing Unanswered Prayers by Garth Brooks. Some of you could be a Garth Brooks fan. Maybe you're listening to Garth Brooks. But that song may be significant, even if you're not a country fan. Again, you might want to read those lyrics because that may be healing for someone. Again, that's Unanswered Prayers by Garth Brooks. So I'm also a huge Garth Brooks fan. Saw him in concert, got upgraded randomly to the second row. Hands down, still the best concert I've ever been to. So, yeah. Some of you are going to have that moment too where you look back and you're going to be really grateful for the things that didn't work out, even if it was hard getting out of it, even if it was challenging to heal it. Some of you are going to have those moments again. I just feel like in general, your guides are going to start having you reflecting more on your growth to show you how far you've come. Some of you are not taking the time to reflect on that. They're going to force that. And I don't feel like that's going to be super interrupting in your day-to-day life. But again, it's important to take moments to pause and see how far you've come. Okay? All right. Often the greatest gift is not what you receive. It is who you become while moving toward it. What needs to be done? Treat every meaningful desire as a teacher. When progress feels slow, ask what capacity is being developed. Value personal growth as much as external results. Healthy desire is patient without becoming passive. Patience is not inactivity. Patience is continued participation without forcing results, planting while waiting, learning while remaining curious, creating without demanding immediate success, loving without demanding instant certainty. Healthy desire continues showing up while allowing reality to unfold naturally. Some of these things just can't be rushed, babies, no matter how bad you want that. Things just don't. Listen, universe don't give a shit about your ego. It just doesn't. All right? I don't know who needs to hear that. Like, let it unfold naturally. And I'm not saying don't manifest, don't desire, don't do the things. I'm not saying that. I'm saying stand in your power, right? Command your shit. Do what you feel called to do. And just let it go. Know it's already a done deal. Why? You said it. You did your thing. Move on. Act as if. Move straight into that action. They're like, if you focus on the action and start aligning yourself with the version of you that has it, those habits and all that kind of stuff, they're like, you'll get there faster if you do the shit and just keep looking around like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I just heard that's the shit I don't like. Oh, that's in a song. I don't know if that's in a Cardi B song or something. I don't. That's a line in a song for sure. That's the shit I don't like. It's also a line I've used more than once on other people. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, patience is active trust, not passive waiting. What needs to be done? Continue participating even when results are slow. Focus on faithful effort rather than immediate outcomes. Replace forcing with steady, continuous work. All right? Again, consistent action. I don't know why this is coming through, but I heard put your ass to work. And that's exactly how it came through. Put your ass to work. I'm hearing America's ass. Put America's ass to work. Someone's got some cheeky guides because they just said you know if that applies to you. All right. Healthy desire needs friction. Obstacles are not always signs that you are on the wrong path. Say it again. Obstacles are not always signs that you are on the wrong path. Often they are shaping you for the path. Difficulty develops strength. Delay develops patience. Failure develops humility. Conflict develops wisdom. Disappointment develops discernment. Without resistance, desire often remains immature. Babies, sometimes you genuinely have to be forged in fire. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fire sign with hella fire placements. I'm telling you as someone who has been in there, some of you know about the sacred fire. And some of you are absolute badasses who know you walk in and out of the sacred fire. You're like, this shit don't work, burn it off me. Burn off everything that is inauthentic to me. Fuck this shit, I've had enough. We're doing it differently the next time. Get it out. I hear you. You badass. You are my kind of people. I be doing that all the time. All right, some of you may recognize Phoenix Rising. Some of you may really be feeling that rebirth energy, baby. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right? But again, without resistance, desire often remains immature. If you remember, or you watched part 1, I talked about how desire matures as your identity matures. How do you mature? Most often by going through challenging experiences. All right? Without that resistance, desire remains immature. Your identity does not shift. And I know some of you really don't want to hear that. And I had a point in time where I didn't want to hear it either. I didn't like it. I was pissed off by that. But you know what? Again, looking back, I'm very grateful for every challenge I've been through. And I'm hearing some of you need to trust that you're going to have that moment too. Okay? The question is not, why is this happening? It becomes, what ability is this challenge helping me develop? What needs to be done? Stop viewing every obstacle as a reason to quit. Ask what each challenge is teaching you. Allow resistance to strengthen rather than discourage you. All right? And they want you to use your discernment with that, right? Sometimes challenges are there to help us grow. And there is a flip side where certain challenges pop up, sometimes just to show you what you've outgrown. All right? Sometimes experiences will keep repeating to show yourself you have already learned this. Are you going to keep choosing this? All right? Use your discernment with this message. All right? There's breadth and depth to everything. Everyone has their own experience. This is why we build our discernment. All right? Disappointment refines desire. Disappointment is not the end of desire. It is often where fantasy gives way to reality. Fantasy loves an idea. Reality asks whether we are still willing to love after imperfections appear. Many people abandon worthwhile desires because the excitement disappears. But lasting love, meaningful work, and genuine purpose all begin after idealization fades. Disappointment removes illusion. It reveals what is truly worth remaining committed to. What needs to be done? Stay present when excitement fades. Let disappointment refine your expectations instead of ending your commitment. Ask, what remains worth loving after the fantasy disappears? Desire must become honest. Many desires are shaped by performance. People chase what looks impressive. Babies, this is straight up fucking ego. If you didn't understand my ego reference before, what I'm talking about now, this is straight fucking ego. All right? They pursue identities they think they should have. They remain loyal to dreams that no longer fit because those dreams have become part of their self-image. Healthy desire asks, if no one else ever knew about this, would I still want it? Honesty removes performance. It allows desire to become authentic. What needs to be done? Notice where external approval influences your desires. Let go of goals that exist mainly to impress others. Regularly ask whether your desires still matter without an audience. Healthy desire requires reciprocity. Desire begins by asking what something can give us. Mature desire asks what we can give in return. Every meaningful relationship eventually becomes mutual. Healthy desire contributes, serves, protects, and nurtures. It becomes stewardship. Love is no longer measured by attraction alone. It is measured by care. What needs to be done? Ask what your relationships, work, and commitments need from you. Contribute before expecting fulfillment. Let care become more important than consumption. Babies, I'm hearing when it comes to love, if you focus on care and start looking at relationships through the lens of care, some of you, it's going to really open up your eyes. I don't know why, babies, and my heart goes out to you if this ends up resonating with you. But if you start looking at relationships through care as opposed to consumption and really like transactions, some of you are going to realize you care about some people a lot more than they care about you. And let's be fair, because I'm hearing not all your hands are clean. Some of you are going to take a look at yourself and realize where others care more about you than you care about them. And I'm hearing all of that is meant to be examined. And I'm hearing be honest, be fair. I don't know who that's for, but I heard be fair. For some of you need to decide, ooh, shit. I'm not going to lie, this feels like judgment. So I'm going to say it, and I'm going to take my ass right out of it. I am the messenger, so here we go. Some of you need to look at that. If you realize that others care about you more than you care about them, you are being held accountable by listening to this. You need to decide if you are going to rise to meet that person and match their energy. And this next part is not my wording. This is what I'm getting. Or you need to do right by them and let them go. I don't know who that is for, but that is your warning, and I am hearing the universe is watching you. And they want me to end it with, make good decisions. I'm big on accountability over here. If I'm picking up on fuck shit, I'm going to call it out. All right? You'll know if your hands aren't clean or not. So, all right, let's get out of that because I ain't loving it. Healthy desire learns containment. Containment is different from suppression. Suppression rejects desire. Containment gives desire room to mature before expression. Healthy desire does not need immediate release. It develops depth because it can remain present without becoming impulsive. I'm hearing that's the difference between healthy desire and unhealthy desire. Containment creates discernment. It allows wisdom to grow alongside instinct. What needs to be done? Practice sitting with desire instead of immediately satisfying or rejecting it. Again, babies, that's that pause. Hit the brakes. Hold firm, right? Sit with it at first. Let reflection become part of every important decision. Develop the ability to pause without disconnecting from what you feel. Instinct is meant to become wisdom. Instinct is not your enemy. Neither are emotion or longing. Each carries important information. The goal is not blind obedience, nor is it suppression. The goal is translation. Attraction may reveal possibility. Fear may reveal vulnerability. Jealousy may reveal neglected values. Envy may reveal unrealized potential. Emotion becomes wisdom when it is treated as information rather than instruction. What needs to be done? Become curious about your emotional responses. Ask what your emotions are revealing instead of acting on them. Allow reflection and instinct to work together. Flexibility protects desire from becoming obsession. Obsession becomes rigid. It believes there is only one acceptable outcome. Healthy desire remains devoted while staying flexible. Curiosity keeps desire alive. Playfulness prevents control. Humility allows unexpected opportunities to appear. Sometimes fulfillment looks different from what we first imagined. Rigid desire narrows life. Flexible desire expands it. And babies, they want me to call this out. Some of you know this, some of you don't. And I feel like this message is a reminder for those who do know it, and it's to inform those who may not be aware of it. But babies, in this universe, and the more I'm on this journey, don't be out here unnecessarily limiting yourself. All right, as someone who can see timelines, particularly future possibilities, although I can look in the past, I usually don't too much. But there's an infinite number of timelines of how things can come into your life. All right? Don't be putting limitations in place that don't need to be there. All right? Things can happen in expected and unexpected ways. All right? Leave yourself open to surprises, to delights, to shit that absolutely blows your socks off when it comes through. Keep it open. Stay flexible. All right? You got to kick that limitation shit to the curb. It really, truly has no place in this world once you reach a certain point. All right? Anything is possible. I'm hearing miracles happen every day. Every day. All right? What needs to be done? Stay committed to what matters without becoming attached to one specific outcome. Stay flexible. Practice curiosity when plans change. Leave room for life to surprise you. I am really on my shit lately. Oh, I'm good. I'm gonna drink some water. I hyped myself up a little too much. Leave room for surprises. I'm hearing trust the detours. Stop. They said stop telling the universe how to run itself. You don't even see like that. Babies, you got a faith the size of a mustard seed. I have these gifts, and there's plenty of shit I don't know. There is plenty of shit I don't see. I have asked my teams questions, and they have literally said, we're just not going to tell you. Okay? Like, you don't get this stuff, and you get all the keys to the universe. You know all the shit, blah, blah, blah. You really don't. And why do I say that? Because I have moments where I get the downloads that I just need to do something. Like, I need to go here. I need to do this. Like, sometimes they just show me something. And, like, that's it. That's all I've got. It's like I see a store or I see an object. And it's like, it's almost like, I call them side quests, right? Because it's like, I see it. I know I'm supposed to go there. And it's like, what the fuck beyond that? And it's really like, it doesn't matter. Just go. Just do that. And then when I get there, I figure it out. I always do. All right? They want me to, I don't know why they want me to say this, but I'll share that story. I knew I needed to get something. I'm not going to tell the details because it's very personal to me, but I knew I needed to go to a specific metaphysical store. Actually, I'll drop that name. If you're in the Connecticut area, Mondazzi in Windsor is like the biggest metaphysical store that I'm aware of. Like, if they don't have it, I'm pretty sure you got to order it online. It's actually like a decent chunk of a warehouse. It's that big. But anyways, I knew I needed to go to Mondazzi, and there was going to be something that pertained to a cow or a peacock that was waiting for me. And I'm not going to lie, I actually thought it was a peacock, and I walked that whole fucking thing, and it is part of a warehouse. It is huge. And there was one fucking peacock item in there. One. Not even options. One peacock thing. Not a single cow thing. Walked in, bought it. Shit was $8. That was the only thing I bought in this entire massive store. All right? And that genuinely had significance. I had to do that day. All right? So you got to trust. You got to allow for surprises. You will figure it out as you go. Like, it's not like you get these gifts and shit really starts making sense. I got times where I'm like, what the fuck? Things made more sense before I awoke. All right? So just roll with it. Somebody needs to loosen up. Someone needs to go have fun. I don't know whose energy I'm tapping into. I'm literally just hearing go do shit just to do shit. Go do something you used to do as a kid that you love. Just go do it. Go do it. Someone needs a pillow fight. Water balloons. Someone needs, if you have hookups for more than one hose, you need to have a hose war with someone, which sounds very wrong, but they told me that was the right way to put it. My head is not in the gutter. All right, I'm putting that aside. We're going to keep it moving. All right. Leave room for life to surprise you. All right. Desire should expand your life. Healthy desire enlarges your world. It deepens relationships, expands creativity, strengthens compassion, increases gratitude, and invites learning. Unhealthy desire shrinks life. Everything begins revolving around one thing. The best way to evaluate desire is to observe its effects. Does it make your life larger or smaller? And I'm hearing be very honest. What needs to be done? Notice whether your desires increase connection or isolation. Choose desires that expand your capacity to love, learn, and contribute. Let your desires enrich your whole life, not consume it. Desire needs community. Desire rarely matures in complete isolation. Wise relationships help expose blind spots, challenge fantasy, encourage courage, offer perspective, and celebrate growth. Healthy people do not simply affirm our desires. They help refine them. What needs to be done? Invite trusted people to speak honestly into your life. Welcome thoughtful challenge, not just encouragement. Let wisdom grow through relationship rather than isolation. Babies, sometimes we just end up so deep in these journeys and these growth processes that we don't always see things clearly. Sometimes it's really helpful to talk to others you trust and you know are trustworthy to get that unbiased opinion. And I genuinely believe the people who love us the most and have our greatest and highest good at heart are the ones who are willing to be honest with us, even if it's not what we want to hear. All right? I had a conversation with a friend this week, and through that conversation with her, it blew my mind how much I had really grown. And I mean, I knew on one hand, but her beautiful, intuitive ass was really laying it out for me at a level that I wasn't seeing it. And it was crazy. I actually had to take time after we had that talk just to sit and absorb it. Because again, I felt it in my body that what she was saying was true. I just had no idea. I was just really in the thick of it, trying to push through to the other side while honoring my pace. So I'm very grateful for her. I shout her out quite a bit. She is Mocha Love Tarot, and she is my soul sister, and she is probably the only person who can actually read me the way I need to be read. So very grateful for her. If you're listening to this, I love you, sis. All right, let's keep it rolling. Solitude clarifies desire. Community refines desire. Solitude reveals it. Without quiet, it becomes difficult to separate authentic desire from social expectation. Silence allows hidden motivations to surface. It asks which desires remain without comparison, which dreams survive without applause, which longings continue when no one is watching. Solitude is not escaping life. It is returning to yourself. What needs to be done? Create regular time away from noise, comparison, and distraction. Listen for the desires that remain in silence. Let quiet become part of your discernment. You need time for reflection, right? And solitude is often where you start determining what is your energy and what is not. I'm hearing that time in solitude is sacred. Treat it as sacred. Every desire carries responsibility. People often focus on the rewards attached to desire while ignoring its responsibilities. Every meaningful desire asks something in return. Love requires vulnerability. Leadership requires accountability. Freedom requires self-discipline. Creativity requires persistence. Knowledge requires humility. And purpose requires endurance. One of the best ways to evaluate desire is to ask, am I willing to carry everything this desire requires? What needs to be done? Look beyond what you hope to gain. Consider what your desires will ask of you. Embrace responsibility as part of fulfillment. Again, it's not about what do you want, it's what do you do when you get it, right? Think longer term. Stay present. Look forward. Plan ahead, but stay flexible enough to adjust as needed. Structure and flexibility are going to be equally important moving forward. Too much of one, too little of the other is going to lead to imbalance. Some of you are going to have to learn the dance. Desire learns through choosing. Not every possibility deserves pursuit. Every meaningful yes requires many meaningful no's. Commitment always excludes alternatives. This is not loss, it is focus. The more mature desire becomes, the fewer things it wants, but the more deeply it cares for those things. Truth, love, beauty, meaning, community, service, wisdom. Desire becomes concentrated rather than scattered. What needs to be done? Practice saying no to what distracts you from what matters most. Some of you, that is what you need your solitude for. I'm hearing you need to simplify. You know you need to simplify. What are you gonna start saying no to? Focus on what matters most. Start saying no to the other shit that does not align to it. And I'm going to be very honest. If you are on this journey, mastering your no is very important. The file I have in my head under shit we're not going to tolerate is loads larger than it was than when I started. All right? It's just part of the process. Choose depth over endless options. Let commitment simplify your life. Desire has seasons. Desire is not meant to remain equally intense all the time. It naturally moves through cycles. Curiosity, growth, action, rest, reflection, creation, completion, and renewal. Not every season is for pursuing. Some are for listening, for grieving, for building, for celebrating. Periods of quiet are often signs of integration, not absence. What needs to be done? Stop expecting constant motivation. Honor the season you are in instead of resisting it. You'll flow much better through that season if you work with it, not against it. Allow periods of rest and reflection to prepare future growth. Desire refines attention. Whatever you consistently desire shapes what you notice. It determines what captures your attention, what you consider beautiful, what feels meaningful, what feels threatening. Desire quietly trains perception long before it shapes behavior. As desire matures, attention becomes calmer, deeper, and less scattered. You begin seeing more clearly because you are no longer constantly chasing the next thing. What needs to be done? Pay attention to what consistently captures your focus. Direct your attention toward what reflects your deepest values. Practice slowing down enough to truly notice what matters. That solitude is sacred. I don't know who needs to hear that. Desire should become ordinary. The healthiest desires eventually become ordinary parts of daily life. Love becomes regular acts of care. Creativity becomes consistent work. Wisdom becomes the way you listen. Integrity becomes your natural response. Generosity becomes normal. The extraordinary slowly becomes ordinary because it becomes part of who you are. This is not losing passion. It is becoming established in it. What needs to be done? Stop measuring growth by emotional highs. Value ordinary faithfulness over dramatic moments. Allow your deepest values to become daily habits. Attraction is different from recognition. Not everything that attracts you belongs in your life. Some attractions are reactions. Others are fantasies. Some are attempts to fill old wounds. Recognition feels different. It carries less urgency and more peace. Instead of feeling like chasing something outside yourself, it feels like discovering something that belongs with who you are becoming. What needs to be done? Learn the difference between excitement and deep resonance. Notice what brings lasting peace rather than temporary intensity. Some of you are learning hard lessons around this. Some of you are realizing something you thought was lasting peace is temporary intensity. You just didn't have the words for it before. I'm hearing you felt that in your heart. And I'm hearing for some of you that actually hurt. I'm sorry if that did hurt, babies. They're saying you needed words to help you process that. Let me say it one more time. For what needs to be done, notice what brings lasting peace rather than temporary intensity. You're going through this experience because they want you to understand the difference between the two. They want you to use that to refine your discernment so that when you move, I don't know what your situation is, so take it how it resonates. But they want you to have that so when you move forward, you can make informed based decisions with that. Follow what continues to feel true over time. Healthy desire becomes less self-centered. Early desire asks, how will this benefit me? Mature desire asks, how will this affect everyone connected to this? As desire matures, its concern naturally expands. It begins caring about relationships, communities, future generations, the environment, the work itself, truth, beauty, the common good. Desire becomes relational rather than individual. What needs to be done? Consider how your choices affect others. Let your desires contribute to something larger than yourself. Measure success by the good your life creates, not only by personal fulfillment. Integration brings simplicity. An immature life is often full of competing desires. One part wants safety, another wants adventure. One wants recognition, another wants privacy. One wants certainty, another wants freedom. As desire matures, these competing parts begin to organize around deeper values. Life becomes less divided, decisions become clearer, energy becomes more focused. Simplicity is not having fewer responsibilities. It is becoming internally unified. What needs to be done? Identify the values that matter most. Let those values guide conflicting desires. Pursue inner coherence rather than endless options. Mature desire changes the questions. Growth changes the questions we ask. Instead of asking, "What will make me happy?" we begin asking, "What is worth loving?" Instead of "What can I get?" we ask, "What can I sustain?" Instead of "How do I avoid discomfort?" we ask, "What difficulties belong to this meaningful path?" Instead of "Have I arrived?" we ask, "How do I remain faithful?" The questions themselves become wiser. What needs to be done? Notice the questions that guide your decisions. Replace outcome-focused questions with character-focused ones. Let your questions mature as your life matures. Desire is ultimately about presence. At first, desire seems focused on the future. Eventually, it teaches us how to inhabit the present. Instead of constantly reaching for what comes next, desire begins opening us to the richness of this moment. Beauty becomes easier to notice. Relationships become deeper. Work becomes more meaningful. Ordinary life becomes more alive. Desire no longer pulls us away from life. It draws us more fully into it. What needs to be done? Practice giving your full attention to the present. Look for opportunities to participate deeply rather than constantly seeking something new. Let desire increase your presence, not your restlessness. The final movement, desire becomes stewardship. At its highest expression, desire is no longer about acquisition. It becomes stewardship. It asks, what has been entrusted to my care? How can I protect it? How can I help it grow? How can I leave it better than I found it? The deepest measure of desire is not how intensely you feel or how much you acquire. It is the quality of your participation. Can you love without possessing? Can you create without controlling? Can you remain faithful after excitement fades? Can you continue caring without immediate award? Can you trust life without trying to dominate it? Can you build something that allows others to flourish? When desire reaches maturity, it becomes less about satisfying yourself and more about becoming a source of life. It builds, nurtures, teaches, restores, protects, creates beauty, strengthens relationships, and expands possibility. Ultimately, desire fulfills its purpose, not when it finally gets everything it wants, but when it becomes the quiet, dependable way you participate in the world. At that point, desire is no longer something you simply feel. It has become part of your character. It has become the way you love, create, serve, and care for what has been entrusted to you. All right, that's what I had. Anything else? No. Okay. All right, babies, that is all I have for you today. That's going to bring our series on desire to a conclusion. I will be back on Sunday to kick off what needs to be revealed about self-worth. And I'm really excited to see where that goes. So if that resonates with you, feel free to tune in. And if it doesn't, that's totally fine. All right. Take care of yourselves, beautiful beings. If you're watching this when I record it and you celebrate, have a beautiful and happy 4th of July, Independence Day. Enjoy the long weekends, babies. All right? Also, please watch them fingers and toes. I ain't trying to throw that out there, but please make good decisions. Watch out for your loved ones, all right? I don't know why I'm hearing if your uncle's had too many beers, get that firecracker away from him. I don't know who's got family like that, but please do the best you can, all right? All right, I'm going to end it there. All right, until next time, babies. Bye.